rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
All right, my guy, we are in here. We are week 1.
Yeah, we're
We
here.
got our game out the way, and now it's officially time for the rest of the league to get down to business.
Yes, sir. We are here, man. You guys are tuned in to the Bald Eagles podcast featuring Marcus Thomas, also known as Coach Marcus. Y'all know him from Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you guys go subscribe there. And I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy. Y'all know where our baldies be. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
sir.
we got a lot to get into, dog. I mean, kickoff is in what? A couple
Couple
hours. Couple hours. So we got you guys for about an
There we
hour.
go.
50 minutes
Hour
before
50
kickoff.
minutes.
Yeah, hour and 50 minutes before kickoff, man. So far, we've had some pretty exciting football to watch, man. We've seen some pretty strong quarterback play. Man, you haven't really had a chance to talk or chat since the Eagles game. I think we spoke during or midway through, but we haven't really had a chance to really give our thoughts between each other about what we saw on Thursday. So I mean, you guys, we have a full slate show for you guys, and this is how it's going to go, right? Me and Marcus have been talking about this. This is how it's going to go. You know, you guys are always going to get your Eagles fix. We're going to always, you know, start with the staple, right? The Philadelphia Eagles. And we're also going to be giving you guys, especially on Sundays, that is on game days, we're going to be giving you guys our predictions for that week. We're going to be keeping track of our win-loss records of our predictions, and we're going to compile those on a weekly basis and keep track of those. You know, we're also going to give you guys, you know, just our overall opinions and thoughts on the landscape of the NFL. You know, any standout performances, any standout games, anything that's going on. We're going to give you guys our full, unadulterated opinions on the Philadelphia Eagles plus the NFL and things going on that week, you guys. So, again, so much to get into, so much to talk about, you guys. We appreciate you for just being patient and just growing with us as this thing becomes what it is. And Marcus has been phenomenal. You know what I mean? So I can't wait. I can't wait to really get into it, man. I have some predictions, man, for this upcoming week that I can't wait to get into later on. We can iron that out. But I guess we could start with we can get right to it. Let's talk about that Eagles game. Eagles Cowboys on Thursday Night Football via NBC and Peacock.
Yeah.
Marcus, what was your instant reaction to the game?
Thank God for Jalen Hurts. Offense was good, could have been better. Defense was good, all things considered. Those things, quote unquote, being the whole Jalen Carter situation. We'll get into that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And also the horrible play of Adoree Jackson. Now, he can say he gave himself a C all he wants. Not sure what kind of grading scale he was looking at, but I haven't seen somebody go after one spot on the field so often. We haven't seen that since James Bradbury against Seattle.
Yeah.
He wasn't good. He had a couple pass breakups. Yes, he did. Maybe those bonus points got him up to a C-. I don't know. But that was a D effort, in my opinion. And Vic Fangio has got a decision to make, and we got to make that spot better. I'd have been more after seeing that, and of course, hindsight is 2020. I'd have been better if Keely Ringo had started at that spot.
Yeah, you look. It's funny. It's funny you say that because at least with Keely Ringo, he can run. It looked like Adoree Jackson just couldn't even keep pace.
It was
That's the
his
bare
technique.
minimum. Just keep pace.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he couldn't even do that. At least with Keely Ringo, what we saw in preseason, we saw a guy who was in position but just wasn't making the play or couldn't make the play for whatever reason. Ringo was always in phase, just couldn't make the play. And Adoree Jackson, on the other hand, just looked like a guy that couldn't keep up.
No, his hips were always in the wrong position. He got turned around a couple times. The 51-yarder by Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders ran right through his gap.
And I don't know if he
made a business decision. I don't know if he thought that Miles was going to try to bounce it to the outside, but he came right through that gap, and I was like, "Oof! Like, come on, dude, you gotta do better than that." But I think more than anything, it was the pass coverage. CeeDee Lamb was lighting them up and spinning them around, and you kind of look on the flip side just to compare and contrast how Quinyon was guarding in similar situations, and it's like night and day. And it's like, dude, it has to get better than that. I know it was the first game and stuff like that. I'll be very curious to see how this manifests going forward. And heck, you ain't even got to go forward. Just let's go to week 2 and what changes is Vic Fangio going to make, because they have to be made. I thought Jahad Campbell was great. I think Nolan Smith was good. Jordan Davis played one of his best games. Not getting a lot of shine is Jalix Hunt. Jalix Hunt and Josh Uche had pretty good games. So the whole offensive line thing, and you kind of take the whole situation with a grain of salt because we were missing Jalen Carter. Now, to Dak Prescott's own admission in the post game, their whole scheme was about dealing with Jalen Carter, and if you take that off the table, you got a little bit more room to do some other things. So everybody's all up in arms, and Dallas looks great, and all of a sudden, here we go again, because Dallas almost won. Now moral victories are in vogue now, and I was like, nah, it don't work that way.
Yeah,
we lost our best player. You had a turnstile at cornerback, and y'all still couldn't beat us. Stop playing. So you're not going to do that when you got pressure in your face. And let's be real, we should have had 2 picks against Dak. We should have had 2. We dropped them. We had a linebacker that couldn't get there, couldn't get his hands underneath it. Same thing like Jahad, the one that was it Jahad or was it Zach Bond that missed it? And then another pick goes right through Quinyon's hands, right through his hands. And it's like, we have got to get those when we get our hands on them, because that game is totally different if we make them 2 turnovers.
I agree 100%. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, for me, I guess I'll start on the defensive side, right, and try to comb through, everything you said, because me and you were pretty much in lockstep, right? With Adoree Jackson, he's going to hurt this defense if he either doesn't improve or the Eagles don't make a move. He's going to continue to hurt them, because we saw firsthand week 1 what it looks like for someone to constantly abuse Adoree Jackson. And frankly, it's not difficult. It's really not difficult to even scheme it up.
Right.
The Cowboys showed that it wasn't even difficult to isolate him. Every time Cooper DeJean would be matched up on, be it CeeDee Lamb or whoever was in the slot, let's say CeeDee Lamb. Whenever Cooper DeJean was lined up with CeeDee Lamb, they would motion CeeDee Lamb, and somehow, some way, CeeDee Lamb became Adoree Jackson's responsibility. And Adoree Jackson was just nowhere near the ball, constantly getting his hips turned, always chasing, always saw the back of his jersey. Just a bad game for him, man. And he gave up over 100 yards. He gave up over 100 yards as the nearest defender last night. Over 100 yards. Everybody else gave up, I want to say 30 yards or less. He gave up over 100 yards. The Dallas Cowboys made a concerted effort to attack that weakness, and they made it even easier when you lose Jalen Carter before the game even starts. He's not getting pressure. It gave Dallas more confidence to run the ball up the middle, which they were. I think they had key drives, especially in the first half, where their running game was able to keep them in second and moderate, sometimes second and short or third and short. They were ahead of the chains because Javonte Williams was able to. He was running hard too. He looked powerful. He looked fresh. Javonte Williams was able to keep them on schedule in some way. Again, their running game really wasn't great. Really wasn't great on Thursday. If you really want to do the science, I think they had 113 rushing yards in that game. I want to make sure I got that right here. I think they had. Let me see here. As a team, they had 119 rushing yards. 49 of those rushing yards came on one Miles Sanders run.
Right.
So 119 minus 49. I'm not the greatest at math, but what is that? 50 yards? 70 yards, excuse me, 70 yards. They only had 70 yards rushing. If you take away, and again, I don't really do hypotheticals, but
yeah.
That
again, with our best defensive player not in the game.
Exactly. 70 yards rushing minus that 49-yard run by Miles Sanders. And then the 49-yard run ultimately didn't amount to anything because Zach Bond did what he did. And then Jahad Campbell was able to take the ball away and Quinyon Mitchell scooped it up. So again, man, I'm a little bit more optimistic about this Eagles defense than probably some Eagles fans. You know, you have some people who just overreact, some people who are emotional, right? The Dory Jackson criticism is definitely warranted. But as far as everything else, I felt pretty good about that defense overall. They bit down in the second half, pitched a shutout in the second half. Granted that delay, I feel like that delay really hurt the offenses and really helped the defenses.
It did.
Yeah.
I thought it would be better for us because it would give a little extra time for the trainers to work on Landon Dickerson and Mailata.
But it actually had the opposite effect on Landon.
Exactly.
He tightened up.
Yep. Now everybody know why they had them bikes on the sideline. You got to when your back is like that, or you one of those type of people, you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving because basically when your back tightens up like that, that ain't nothing but a big ass cramp, and it sucks. So you got to keep moving, man. And you know what? I meant to review this play. I did a little film study of Jalen Hurts, which will probably, I think I got it posted for scheduled for like 1 p.m. or something like that. But shout out to Zach Bond, man. That play where he stopped Miles Sanders. Zach Bond came down the line of scrimmage. He stayed parallel to the line of scrimmage and then caught Miles Sanders from the back.
I don't know how he did that, man.
He didn't catch it. He didn't go at an angle. He was pursuing the play down the line of scrimmage and then turned 90 degrees and hawked him down from the back. I was like, shout out to Zach Bond, man.
Yeah, that's
he
pure
doesn't
effort.
Get credit for that one.
That's pure effort. You can't coach effort. It's either you're giving it or you're not. And he ran well over 20 miles. Well, he ran, I think he reached the top speed of 20.63 miles, something like that, according to Next Gen Stats. And Miles Sanders only reached the maximum of 19.4, 19.3.
That was impressive.
It's very impressive. I mean, I know Zach Bond's fast, but he shouldn't have caught him.
And then Jahad Campbell covers a go route down the middle of the field with what was that, Ferguson with the tight end?
Yeah. That was one of my next takeaways, right? The Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond duo can be elite.
Yes,
it can be elite. I mean, their versatility in the run game and in coverage is remarkable, and they've proven that once they get their hands on you, you're going down. They tackled well. I think Jahad Campbell was the highest graded defender according to PFF on the Eagles defense. He was tremendous in coverage. I mean, the way he got downfield on that seam route was remarkable. And it was frankly all of Jahad Campbell's his entire skill set was on display. Maybe minus the pass rush, but they really didn't give him too many opportunities to do just that.
Right.
But I feel like outside of the pass rush, his full repertoire, his full tool belt was on display. The athleticism, the speed, the ability to change direction, the sideline to sideline speed, the ability to cover, the hand-eye coordination, the ball skills, the active hands. Played a very mature game. Played
Exactly.
a
That's
very
a great
mature game.
word. That's a great word to describe it, man. And I love it because the more time he gets, the better he's going to get. The more when he gets comfortable, that's the beauty of it. The way he looks right now in game one, and he's not comfortable yet. When he finally gets comfortable and really when everything finally clicks, he is going to be a beast. He's going to be a beast. So
yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And I think one of our who was it? Alex. My shout to my man Alex here. He said Jihad and Bond both had pass breakups on the seam route. They did. Zach Bond was guarding Jake Ferguson, and he did a tremendous job defending that, breaking up that pass. I mean, they looked like twins out there. And Jihad Campbell, just on tape, on film, he just looks so much bigger than everyone else. Like his physique jumps off the screen to me. And I'm just seeing him next to guys like Zach Bond. He makes Zach Bond look like a small guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and he's not.
Exactly.
He's
So
not.
I firmly think that linebacker dude is going to be fine. So they're going to be elite, especially as the season goes.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up yesterday that Nakobe Dean's in trouble, right? And I frankly agreed, because with a guy playing like that, Jihad Campbell, you can't take him off the field. You just can't. Now, I also threw in there, could there be situations where we see Nakobe Dean, Jihad Campbell, and Zach Bond on the field? Absolutely. Those could be those situations where we see Jihad Campbell line up on the line of scrimmage. Maybe we see the Eagles go with a 4-man front that becomes a 5-man front with Jihad creeping down, and Nakobe and Zach are back there in coverage doing their thing, fitting the gaps, so on and so forth. So I think the Eagles have plenty depth at linebacker. They're going to have options, especially when Nakobe Dean comes back. They're going to get stronger. But I just think as the season progresses, Jihad Campbell is going to be a menace, man. Like, again, this is just game one, and he went up against a very good quarterback, in my opinion. I know everyone has their own opinions about Dak Prescott, but in September, October, November, he can play football.
Absolutely,
he can play football, and he can throw the ball. He has one of the quickest releases in the game. You got to give credit where credit is due. And I think you brought up Jordan Davis as well, right? That Eagles defense, bit down in the second half. The Cowboys weren't really able to run the ball. Like I said, you take away that 49-yard run, they really weren't able to run the ball consistently. They just had timely runs that kept them on schedule in the first half, again, which I respect.
Right.
They did a good job in the red zone running the ball as well. But overall, Jordan Davis had a really great performance. He played a career high in snaps as well. I think he played 89% of the snaps. I think about 55 total reps, which is only second to that Bills game he played in 23, but that was an overtime game. So you got to, that's a false equivalency. Nonetheless, Jordan Davis really showed me something. His transformation physically showed, especially with his conditioning. And I just think he's going to get better, especially with Jalen Carter being in the lineup. You just got to
pick up the slack. He picked up the slack.
He did the best he could. Byron Young had some strong pass rushes. I think overall that defensive line definitely can stand to take a step forward, but we can't judge them, and we can't judge them as they were constructed on that in that game. They were built with Jalen Carter in mind, and we can't judge them accordingly without having Jalen Carter in that lineup, right? Everyone has a role. Roles are defined. So once Jalen Carter gets back in that lineup, hopefully it's week 2 against the Chiefs. We'll see how it goes. And we're definitely going to tap into that Jalen Carter narrative for sure. I just want to give you my offensive takeaways as well. You mentioned it, Jalen Hurts. I think he played a perfect game, man. You can't play a game better than that, all things considered. And I saw a lot of people trying to criticize Kevin Patullo's play call and just the overall nature of AJ Brown and Devontae Smith's involvement. And look, I understand AJ Brown, your best receiver, Devontae Smith, your second best. You want to get those guys the ball early and often. But you got to give credit where credit is due to Dallas. They did a pretty good job covering those guys. They did a pretty good job, eliminating them from Jalen Hurts' list of options. And honestly, AJ Brown really didn't get the separation that we're used to getting. I think he's still a little hurt. But
I agree. I saw a couple plays,
yeah.
and I kind of focused in on him at the end of the play, like plus 10 yards down the field. And then I'm looking, I'm like, does he have that same stopping power, change direction power? And I agree. He didn't look 100%. Now, 85% of AJ Brown is
It's
better than
still
100% of a lot of other people.
right,
So,
for sure.
But I still do think there were a few opportunities where maybe Jalen could have gone that direction. But in looking at the plays, I understand why he didn't. Like,
Yeah.
I thought the exact opposite of that. The last play of the game, where he hit AJ with the AJ, I think got the first down. I think it was with like an 8-yard pass. To the sideline.
He got him. He caught him for 7 yards. It made it
Yeah.
a third. It made it a 3rd and 3. He caught him 2nd and 10 for a 7-yard pass. It made it 3rd and 3. Yeah.
He had Smitty wide open.
Mm.
If he hits Devontae catches the ball and can get probably about another 10 yards more if he can make somebody miss.
Well, also just to throw some context in there, if that second half, again, like I said, that delay really afforded those defensive coaches to really iron out their game plan to really slow down those offenses. And I think Dallas did a pretty good job at sending a variation of blitz packages at the Eagles to try to get the ball out of Jalen's hands quick. And I think, again, that was their last-ditch effort. That was their last chance to get the ball back. And I think Dallas they got pressure on that last drive, and Jalen just was trying to get the ball out of his hands, be efficient, be effective. So I can't really again, I gotta watch it again. I don't know if I don't know if he just went to his first read with AJ, but I think ultimately that pressure was getting through when he got that ball. I gotta watch the play again.
Well, based on how I saw it,
okay,
he locked in on AJ because he threw the ball before AJ was out of his break.
Mm-hmm. You think it was one of those situations where I can't go this game without giving him a target?
It was, yes. It was like a 10-yard comeback to the outside. So AJ was I don't know, about 4 or 5 yards from the sidelines. Mm-hmm. So he drives up the field. He comes back to the outside. And as soon as he makes his break, Jalen released the ball. And that's what I'm saying, because I marked it up on the film. He had Devontae Smith right in front of him. Mm-hmm. It would have been basically a screen pass to Devontae. And Devontae probably could have ran for, like I said, 10 to 20 more once he got the ball. He definitely would have got a first down, and he would have stayed in bounds. That's what would have happened. But he had already locked eyes, or he had already committed to throwing the ball to AJ Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, you ultimately, it wasn't a bad throw, it wasn't a bad play. It made it 3rd and manageable, 3rd and short. Right. And it allowed Jalen Hurts to do what Jalen Hurts does. So I think that was one of those games where, and Jalen Hurts, and shout out to my man S. Blunt, he used the term risk adverse. He said Jalen was definitely risk adverse this game. Yeah, I think to your point, S. Blunt, Jalen always plays the game he always plays the long game, right? I just got finished rewatching the game earlier today, and I noticed a guy who was decisive, getting the ball out of his hands quick, trusting his playmakers,
right,
and was willing to nickel and dime them down the field. And I was okay with that, because sometimes the Eagles, there was a point where sometimes we say about the Eagles, okay, you're relying too much on the explosive, right? But I saw a quarterback that was patient, didn't play the game with ego. Another guy who played a mature game, played a very mature game, allowed the game to come to him, took what they gave him, and ultimately was just surgical. He was surgical. And he understood. Jalen is a quarterback who has, if you ask me, he's mastered how to win football games.
Right.
And that's what I saw. I saw a guy who was just in command of the football game, understanding the pace, understanding the clock, understanding that, okay, I don't have to force this ball here if I don't need to. I don't have to. And that's ultimately what I saw. But bringing it to Kevin Patullo's porch. People criticize Kevin Patullo's play calling. They felt like it was vanilla, felt like it was safe. And I don't think Kevin Patullo had a poor performance at all, but it wasn't spectacular either. If you ask me, he didn't necessarily try to, and I think this is what people wanted, he didn't really impose his will with his play calling. But I didn't mind it, though. I saw a guy who was able to generate 4 consecutive scoring drives with his quarterback. Right. And they used a lot of condensed formations.
Condensed formations, a lot of match coverage, and a lot of bracket coverage on AJ. I think Jalen was trying to get to AJ a few times, but when you have people in your line of sight, you got to go in a different direction. That's what you're taught to do. Don't take the risk if you don't think the risk is there, and that's what he did. So, my thought is it'll be very interesting to see how teams play AJ going forward after seeing that game, because for the most part, whatever Dallas did was basically successful, because you'll take the odds, and if you got a team out there that's going to play the long game, if you plan the long con, make Jalen beat you with his legs, but the probability of injury, getting nicked up, getting dinged up, is higher when you make him put his body on the ground and put his body on the line. So I think a lot of teams might be taking that approach and not just giving up the ghost. So
here's the thing, though, about that, right? AJ and Jalen, they've been doing this for quite a few years. And I just find it hard to believe that all of a sudden there's this magical method to stopping AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts, though they're too talented to be held back too long. I just think it was one of those games where, it was a wacky game from beginning to end. It was just a very strange game.
Yeah.
And it's week 1. Kevin Patullo hasn't been able to call plays for his starters. The Eagles don't play the starters in preseason at all. So those guys haven't played a game of football since the Super Bowl. Right. And again, they still generated 4 consecutive scoring drives, 3 consecutive touchdown drives. And I just thought overall it was impressive that Jalen Hurts was able to win this game and not get the best performance from his top 2 guys on offense, was top 2 receivers. I think that speaks a lot to the overall potential of this team, because I think we said it earlier, right? Jalen Carter gets ejected. It's week 1. It's banner night, so the pressure is on from your fan base. You're at home. It's a rivalry game, so you guys know each other very, 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 very well. The rain delay. There were so many variables that made this game just strange,
right?
And made it a little off kilter. But I look at this offense and I say to myself, "Oh, they're going to be just fine." My overall takeaway from this offense was, they're going to be fine. Saquon is still running hard. Saquon still can turn nothing into something. Jahan Dotson, in my opinion, he is an extremely reliable wide receiver 3. Will Shipley needs more opportunities in the pass game. I think, if anything, if I could take away anything positive from Kevin Patullo's play calling, I was able to come away from this game and say, okay, the Eagles are low-key establishing that you have to pay attention to more guys than AJ Brown and Devontae Smith in the passing game. And that's something I want, actually. I want the Eagles to create an offense, create a situation where you cannot just key in on AJ and Devontae. Jahan is going to catch the ball if you leave him open. Will Shipley is going to make a play if you leave him open. Saquon's going to make a play if you leave him open, right? Dallas Goedert, don't sleep on him. I would love for the options to be more robust. With this offense, again, AJ Brown and Devontae, they're your number 1 and number 2. You're going to feed those guys. They're going to get their touches. But the Eagles become significantly harder to defend in the passing game if you got guys like Jahan Dotson and Will Shipley and Dallas Goedert out there who are able to make plays, and Saquon Barkley.
Right. But I think in regards to Patullo, I I can't bash him too much because it is just game one, but and this kind of lends to maybe AJ is not 100%, but in my opinion, every game we play, we needs to have AJ Brown on the slant. Period.
Yeah. To your point,
Because even when people know it's coming, they can't stop.
Your first drive of the game, he has to touch that. Like he has to touch that ball at least once. He has to get at least 2 targets on every first. In my opinion, your first drive on offense, he got to have at least 2 targets. He has to.
In my opinion, that should be the first play of every game. Either put him in motion, whatever you got to do, but because that becomes a play action. If you think about it, because if everybody thinks they know what we're going to do and we go in a different direction, that's when you can get burned. So you can set that up, but he's just too dangerous when he gets the ball in his hands in short yardage because he's people forget how big and strong AJ Brown is. He can break a tackle. So, I wish we could do that, but again, that kind of goes back to what we were saying. Maybe he might not be 100%. He really didn't do anything. He was out of camp all camp.
That's another thing too that we didn't really iron out, and maybe I underestimated what that did overall to just game planning with him. But I do think he bounces back. I think him and Smitty have stronger weeks next week. I really do. I really do. Because I watched that Chiefs game against the Chargers, and that secondary,
it's average.
I think they're in trouble personally. But before we even get to that, we gotta flush out this Jalen Carter situation because again, you and I haven't really had a chance to really break it down.
Yeah. So
what was he thinking, man? What was he thinking?
Here's the thing, and I try to be literal as I can in a situation like this because people ask the same question. My wife asked me the same question. What was he thinking, and why would he do that? And the answer to the question is he wasn't. That's the answer.
Yeah.
When you find yourself in those situations where you are emotionally charged up and just the excitement of it, sometimes you do dumb shit. Period. That's as simple as I can put it. Unfortunately, he did the worst thing at the worst time with everybody watching, and he got called on. And it cost him, and it almost cost us.
Absolutely.
He almost flipped all of that Philly equity in about 0.5 seconds.
If they lose that game,
oh God,
this is a bigger story. It's already a huge story, but they lose that game. Now it's not just about Jalen Carter; it's about the Eagles,
right? And I remember you asked me, like, well, what do they say to him in the locker room? And I was like, oh no. I was like, he go to the principal's office. Yeah. Like he's talking to Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie. And it would not surprise me at all if he got a call from the commissioner. It would not surprise me at all, or at the very least, Troy Vincent. So I think it attracted that much attention. And I know some people in the chat said that there were reports coming out that he probably won't be suspended.
Yeah, I was reading the article. Via USA Today. It was, make sure I got this right here. It was written by, here we are. It was written by Mike Freeman and Jared Bell. And according to these gentlemen here via USA Today Sports, Jared Bell, he spoke to an anonymous league official. And they maintain the anonymity of the official because it's still technically an active deliberation. Correct. It's still technically an active, it's still an active investigation, so to speak. But according to this anonymous league executive, the suspension for Carter isn't on the table. So we'll see. We'll see what that even means. I think it's something that should be considered. But if I want to make a assumption, I want to assume that the league, so it's a couple things, right? One, he showed remorse. That's number one. Show remorse, show vulnerability. That's that, right? Number two, footage came out of Dak Prescott's involvement in the situation. Now, I'm not saying that justifies Jalen Carter's actions. There's no justification for what Jalen Carter did. I don't want people to ever get my position misconstrued. I don't
Right.
want people to get my position mixed up with anything. What Jalen Carter did is unacceptable under every circumstance. Doing shit like that get you hurt in the street. You feel what I'm saying? So that's unacceptable. But again, number two, Jalen Carter's involved. I mean, Dak Prescott's involvement. Excuse me. So
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
yeah,
Because somebody posted that on Twitter. I was trying to find my response to it. About what they said about the same article, the USA Today article. And my response was, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL could suspend, at the very least, Carter will face a potential fine. He could also be suspended, sources told ESPN. This was about the USA Today article. And my response was, or the people at the USA Today don't actually work for the NFL, and they have sources like everybody else, just like the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know. They're thinking, because I told you from the rip, it wouldn't surprise me if they did, because they are so gung-ho on sending that message.
And that's and that's another part that makes it a little more interesting, because they're taking sportsmanship to the highest degree this year.
To the highest degree.
But again, if I can throw in my third point, because and I want you to weigh in on this part, because it happened when it happened, like it didn't happen in the third quarter, the fourth quarter, or in the second. He didn't even take a snap.
Correct.
So I guess I'm asking you, in theory, is it fair to say that he served the suspension then?
Yes, and that's what a lot of people
can that
say.
go into the deliberations? I guess what I'm asking.
Yeah, that is it. That is legit. That is a legitimate reason, because he didn't play. It didn't happen in the third quarter. He didn't play most of the game. He didn't contribute. He got ousted right away. So basically, that was his suspension. That's the logic, and that is sound. If the NFL wants to go that way, it all depends on how they feeling about it. I don't know what Troy Vincent's going to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
He might say that, well, he already missed the game, so that's suspension enough. And then he might watch the videotape one more time and be like, oh, hell no, you ain't spitting on me. Get him out for another game.
Right, but I think,
you know what I mean? So
I think that's where the Dak Prescott part comes in. Because
because somebody else came and said, somebody officially said Dak Prescott didn't do anything wrong.
Somebody
that is correct. That is correct.
Is that
However, it has nothing to do with being unsportsmanlike. That's the key. The unsportsmanlike part of it. He didn't sit back there in between two linemen and spit in the middle of. Like, if Jalen Carter wasn't there, Dak Prescott ain't spitting. He walked in. He did exactly what he did for a reason. People can have other thoughts about it, but that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, because again, right, the telltale for me is Dak Prescott's face.
Correct.
We saw it in 4K.
Correct. He gonna smile and nod like, yeah, I almost got you.
He spit, looked at him, gave him a nod, and smirked. That has to go into the conversation. There has to be some level of baiting, and baiting is in the rule book. It's there.
And anybody knows, everybody's been through this situation, whether you on the playing field, the playground, whatever. If somebody spits in your general direction, the first thing you do is you backing up like, yo, hold on. Like, you almost got me. It ain't even got to be aimed at you. So I understand where he was coming from. His response was stupid. And I fault him like, dude, you didn't see the zebra sitting right next to you? Mm-hmm. So, and I use that example because I always use the example of C.J. Gardner-Johnson when he got kicked out of the game. Mm-hmm. And the dude punched him in the face in front of the ref. So you had to do something way out of bounds. You had to say something way out of bounds for the referee to actually see the guy punch you in the face, but throw the flag on you and kick you out of the game.
And didn't even call a penalty on him.
No. So sometimes you just got to be smarter. We all know the universal rule that you learn since you a peewee 10-year-old football, the second guy always gets caught. That's the rule. If you retaliate, the guy that hits the second, they don't catch the guy that instigated. So maybe they'll do something. Technically, Dak Prescott didn't do anything wrong. But when you throw that unsportsmanlike into the conversation, it all comes down to how is Troy and John Runyon? What are they thinking in this situation?
Correct.
So,
correct. And again,
I hope everybody is correct. I hope they will take him being kicked out of the game from the rip as his suspension, but that is not 100%. And you guys already know that all of these sources and all of these people that are saying what they think, they don't really know. They have no clue. They're hoping it's like that, but they don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I guess my last point on this whole Jalen Carter thing is he has to understand his value to his team. You are a third-year veteran. You are a Super Bowl champion, an All-Pro, a Pro Bowler. You cannot become a liability to the Philadelphia Eagles. You cannot become a liability to yourself. And frankly, you're on thin ice for the rest of the season. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if this followed him all year long. I wouldn't be surprised if it followed him for his entire career. Because
it won't follow him for his entire career. But
if he doesn't tighten up, it's always going to be a reference point.
Right. But that's with anybody, because
that's true.
You look at anybody that gets in trouble off the field, and if something happens during a game, they'll find a way to bring it up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People already had their feelings about him coming into the league. So at that point, I just think he has to be very cautious. If you're going to flex, if you're going to taunt, hey, turn your back to the guy so you're not doing it in his general direction, so the ref can't say you're taunting him, right? If you're going to celebrate, do it away from the guy, do it in the opposite direction. Like if you're going to talk shit, looking the other way. Like do so, like it, I don't want to take the bite out of the dog. That's the thing I don't want to happen. I don't want to take the bite out of the dog. I don't want to completely neuter Jalen Carter, because the same thing Barry Brooks says all the time. Same thing that make you laugh and make you cry, right? So
absolutely,
the same thing that probably gets him in trouble is the same thing that makes him great.
Exactly, and that's why I don't think it's not like when you say the same thing everybody else says. Like you can't do that in that situation. You got to know better.
I heard
he does.
Yeah, one of my viewers, shout out to my man Alex, always supportive, but he said something that kind of threw me off. He said, Zach Bond and Reed Blankenship, since they're the captains, they got to do a better job at monitoring JC in that situation. And my whole position was, if I'm Reed Blankenship or Zach Bond, and this is not me putting Alex on the spot, I appreciate him for putting this out there because it allowed me to expound on a thought that I had. If I'm Reed Blankenship and I'm Zach Bond as captains, the last thing I'm thinking about, or the last thing I'm even concerned about, is Jalen Carter spitting on somebody. That's the last thing I'm thinking about.
But here's the thing, and let's play it out, right?
Yeah.
What exactly could they do or say?
Exactly.
So people say that all the time, and then it's like, he did it, now what? So what do you do? Prime examples. Look at what happened last night with Chris Jones and what's the white DB for the Chiefs? When Chris Jones stunted inside to try to get the sack, he tried to play the hero and he got burned. Cost them the game. And after the game, the dude was like, dude, we was working on that all week. We talked about that all week. Do your job. Do your job. And Chris Jones they was chirping back and forth, but Chris Jones was 100% wrong.
You talking about Drew Tranquil?
Yes. He was 100%. Chris Jones was 100% wrong. He did not do his job. Chris Jones might be a Hall of Famer before it's all said and done. Chris Jones has Super Bowl rings. Chris Jones is arguably the best defensive player on that team and one of the best in the league. And he made the mistake. So if he can do it, definitely a third-year player can do it.
Yeah.
So, but it goes back to what are you going to say to somebody in a situation like that? It ain't really much you can say. And that's why I say when people come up and say, you shouldn't do that. You know better, blah, 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 blah. He does. You don't deal with people. You deal with personality. His personality is the kind that is volatile. CJ Gardner-Johnson is the personality that's volatile. CJ Gardner-Johnson dodged a whole bunch of bullets.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that time he came up and made that tackle, big play in the game, threw his helmet off, and the ref almost flagged him for it. And he convinced him not to do it when he clearly threw his helmet off, trying to flex.
For sure.
So again, I'll repeat it. You don't deal with people, you deal with personality.
Yeah.
And the personalities, he has always been volatile. He is the only one that can bottle that up. He knows what the ramifications are. But when you used to get in trouble as a kid, what did your mom or your dad say? Why would you do that? We ain't teach you that.
You know better.
You know better. Why would you do
better.
that? And what's the answer? I don't know. There's why would you do that? You remember because in the back of your mind, you was like, if I get caught, I'm gonna be in trouble, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Why is that? That's human nature. That's his personality. My mama told me not to go past this stop sign. I ain't going. Where another kid will be like, well, I'm going down. I want to see what's on the other side of the street. Some people obey, some people won't. That's his personality, and there's nothing you can do about that. What you hope is that being in the environment at NovaCare and with Sirianni and with Cliff Hurt and all of them guys, they can impart enough that he thinks more of them than he does of himself. Look at what happened last year in New Orleans when Clint Hurt had to get in his face. What did Clint Hurt do when Sirianni came over there? Sirianni is doing what a head coach is supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And what did Clint Hurt say? I got it.
I got him, coach.
Got it. Let me handle it. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
So Clint Hurt knows how to deal with that personality.
Absolutely.
So it ain't gonna stop. He's in the he has put himself in the same category as Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett became that guy. There's always something with that guy. It's always him.
Let's put him in a better category. Let's put him in like Ndamukong Suh or something.
No. Don't look at the level of play. Don't look at the quality of player. You understand what I'm talking about. That's why you're laughing.
No,
that's why you're laughing.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Because rest assured, and if this doesn't happen, I will be extremely surprised. There is going to come another situation where he's going to get penalized for something stupid.
And also, now you got to be mindful of other players trying to poke the bear. If you're Jalen Carter,
yes,
players. The NFL is a copycat league.
That's a great point.
So he has to be mindful of not just the refs, but you got to be mindful of guys trying to bait you now and not taking the cheese. So again, we'll see where this goes when it comes to Jordan Davis. We're all hoping for just a big fine and we move on. But his value to this defensive line can be understated. What he does for Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Morrow, Joe Mono, those guys, Byron Young, Josh Uche, what he can create for those guys is something that you can't even quantify. And it's going to be really interesting to see how Zadarius Smith fits into this equation. Because that's something that I think him as a player, I'll look at him and he's been productive everywhere he's been. He's a player that's proven he's not scheme dependent. He is going to know how to fit in and do his job and get to that quarterback. He is a professional pass rusher. The dude is like 6'5", 270. Like he's that prototypical DN edge. He's that prototypical guy that fits that mold. And Zadarius Smith, I got to get your thoughts on what was your instant reaction to that signing. because a lot of people, and before you go, a lot of people felt like it was an immediate response to the game. But from everything I've heard, he was in town all week.
Come on, Howie don't do nothing immediate.
He was in town all week. So it's fair to surmise that they were already looking at the edge position, trying to add to it. And then when you think about the game day roster, Aziz Ojulari being a healthy scratch, Ogbo Okonkwo being a healthy scratch, two guys that you elevated to your final 53 after cuts.
APR got cut.
APR got cut. You cut a guy, and you had two guys that were healthy scratches. For them to do that, and you think about the details surrounding Zadarius Smith signing, they've been working on this for a week plus.
Yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing. Howie didn't just
because he signed. He already passed the physical.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
For them to sign him, he passed the physical.
But here's the silver lining in the whole Jalen Carter situation.
Mm-hmm.
That overshadowed everything that was going on, and the whole Zadarius Smith thing just kind of slipped under the radar. It was big to us in Philadelphia, but around the league, it wasn't as big as you think it would, because it was Micah Parsons, and then Jalen Carter happened, and then it's even now. Even though you trying to figure out what's going to happen to a player, is he going to get suspended or not? That's the number one story on USA Today, on ESPN, and all of that kind of stuff. And Zadarius Smith just kind of slipped in there. Yeah, we saw that. So I think we just talked about Jordan Davis benefiting from Jalen Carter being on the field, and how good of a game he had, because he had to step up, and he did. Mm-hmm. So just imagine what's going to happen when Jalen Carter gets back. And Jalen Carter's going to have a chip on his shoulder. And now you got Zadarius Smith on the other side that can, like, hey, young fella, I got you on this side. You do what you're supposed to do. That's what people aren't realizing. You got a seasoned vet that's legit with a capital L. So now you got somebody on the other. Now you got somebody that can talk to Nolan Smith. You got somebody who is just as good or just as dominant as Ndamukong Suh was, and that type of impact. Because remember, when Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph played against that Indianapolis game, they made an immediate impact on our defensive line. Zadarius Smith is going to have the same impact. And now you got the young fellas underneath him watching what he can do, and he is still a very productive player.
And you're not asking Zadarius Smith to come in and be.
Nope.
I don't want to say. You're not asking Zadarius Smith to come in and play 50 snaps a game for you. You're not.
Correct.
You ask him to come in and be a pinch hitter. You ask him to come in and give you a strong 15 to 20 to 25 snaps a game.
I can see him getting 6 or 7 sacks this year.
For sure. I mean, Jalen Carter, and again, this goes back to his value. He demands so much attention. But what excites me is the prospects of seeing Zadarius Smith, Jalen Carter, and Jahai Campbell all going after the quarterback at the same time.
Exactly.
That excites me. Because Zadarius is coming off a very productive season. I mean, again, yes, he plays a position that's probably ranked number one in terms of mercenaries for hire.
Yeah.
Edge rushers. And, he's bounced around Baltimore, Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit, Cleveland, right? But in 2024, and since that back injury I think he had in 2021, he's been healthy, like 16 games, 17 games. He's been very healthy the past handful of seasons. So health isn't a concern for him as of right now. But Zadarius Smith, 2024, played in 17 games, played 9 games for Cleveland and 8 games for Detroit. He registered 9 sacks and 17 quarterback hits in that stretch. In the 9 games for Cleveland, he had 5 sacks, and 8 games for Detroit, he had 4 sacks. And in 2024, he also played a grand total of 618 total defensive snaps. He played 327 snaps for Cleveland, which was 58% of the snaps, and 291 snaps for Detroit, which was 60% of the snaps that he could have played. So, I expect Zadarius Smith to make an immediate impact. I expect this dude to really bolster not just the pass rush, but just defending the edge. He's a big body. He has length. He's gonna bring some much needed size to that defensive line, in particular on the edge, because Jalix and Nolan are technically considered undersized.
Well, Nolan is what, 6'3"?
Yeah, but
6'3".
Nolan is about. That's a good question. Let me just double check.
But if you're talking about overall weight, I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm talking about like weight. Like, okay, so Nolan Smith, here we are, 6'2", 238. Jalix Hunt, 6'3", 252. Now, Jalix Hunt, he got some size on him. It's you don't really see it, but it's there. But then you get to Zadarius Smith, 6'4", 270.
Yeah.
So he definitely brings some. He adds some gasoline to the engine for sure. And I'm just curious to see how Vic Fangio deploys him. Maybe he comes in and provides you a blend of what Sweat and BG provided you.
Yeah, I think he'll fit in nicely, and I think he's the exact type of player that Fangio likes.
So break that down.
I think he's. This is what, his 9th year in the league. Is that correct?
This is his 11th.
11th year, so that's even better. You talking about a seasoned vet. You talking about somebody that's got a little bit of the old school feel in them. That somebody that understands what Vic Fangio is trying to do. So they can relate because they've been through a couple of eras of football. So to me, he's a plug and play type guy. Just get in there and do what you do best. We'll figure out the other stuff later. Because you in your 11th year, what haven't you seen? What can happen on the football field that you haven't seen yet? Nothing. And you still being productive at this point in your career. We think about it. Look at the last two. Look at the last 4 or 5 seasons. And slowly but surely, even though the league does not want to pay like this is the case, but the way these older players are playing into their 30s has changed.
Mm-hmm.
It started with quarterbacks, but quarterbacks, they take the least amount of hits, right? Then you look at somebody like, you look at Hassan Reddick, 29, 30 years old, doing what he did. Zadarius Smith, you look at how Slay was playing in his 30s, playing quite well.
Mm-hmm.
You see that more and more and more because of the technology and the medical stuff that we got now. We take a hell of a lot of punishment, but there are more ways to take care of yourself that didn't exist years ago. And you're seeing, just like we saying, that we got expectations for Zadarius Smith. This ain't a Robert Quinn situation.
Bingo. I'm glad you said that, because that move kind of happened at the trade deadline, kind of mid-season, right? The Kevin Byard move kind of happened, I want to say, what was that, week after week 6?
Yeah, but Kevin Byard, we didn't use him right. I think Kevin Byard still has some good. He had gas in the tank, but we just didn't. We put up. To me, Kevin Byard was more like the Nnamdi Asomugha situation. Nnamdi Asomugha just didn't fit in the defense we had, and I think Kevin Byard they threw him in there, and that was just a CF because the whole Matt Patricia thing, it just didn't work.
Yeah, so, and Zadarius, again, he's gonna play against the Chiefs, because what makes this move even better. You played on Thursday. He has 10 days to brush up and get familiar. He's going to play, and maybe he plays 10 snaps, 15 snaps, and maybe the plays you send him out there for, you just say, "Listen, go get the quarterback. Just go get the quarterback. I'm not going to overcomplicate your job right now. Just go get the quarterback." Simple as that. And I agree with you. This is not a Robert Quinn situation. This guy's coming in at the beginning of the year. You got Vic Fangio in the building who's going to get this guy prepared. You got Jeremiah Washburn and Clint Hurt coaching these pass rushers. Washburn, he coaches the off-ball linebackers, the edge rushers, and Clint Hurt, the D linemen, the D ends, the interior defensive linemen. Like these, you got some very astute guys in the building to get this guy ready. And again, he's a veteran. He's not scheme dependent. He's so
Right.
proven. He is so proven. I think over the past 3 seasons, 2022 to 2024, he has 24 and a half sacks over the past 3 seasons. That's really good. That's really productive. If you do the math on that, 24 and a half, 3 times 8 is 24. So yeah, he's averaging essentially 8 sacks over the past 3 years a season. And to bring that to the Philadelphia Eagles as they're presently constructed with Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt, and as that game progressed on Thursday, you saw that Eagles pass rush started to come alive.
Started to get home. Yeah.
You starting to get home in the second half. And this goes back to Vic Fangio's ability to just adjust. I mean, to pitch a shot out in the second half, you did that without Jalen Carter. You did that without Zadarius Smith. You did that with a limp leg and Adoree Jackson at corner, right? And Dak was playing, having a pretty good game. Now, granted, the CD dropped some passes. Hey, so did we. We dropped some picks. So you listen. We could argue about hypotheticals all you want, but I just think it's going to be really, really interesting to see how Zadarius Smith fits into this, and it's really going to be really interesting to see how they deploy him against KC. And this can be our segue to that KC Chargers game, because I watched that game. I watched it twice over. Kansas City has problems on defense, in particular in the secondary. The windows that Justin Herbert was throwing through, he wasn't tested at all.
Nope.
He wasn't tested in any capacity. I mean, I'm seeing Lam McConkey. I'm seeing guys 5-10 yards away from the receiver on many occasions, right? I'm seeing these guys falling victim. I mean, victim to the play action. And the Chargers haven't even really established a consistent run game yet.
Nope.
They got new running backs in Amari Hampton, the rookie out of North Carolina, and they signed Najee Harris. Najee Harris was ineffective, but Amari Hampton, he had some plays where he was able to keep them on schedule. He had the greatest game, but their running game was useful in parts of that game. But that was the Justin Herbert performance. Justin
Herbert ripped them a new one.
Everything. He ripped them a new one in the air. He broke their back in the play action, broke their back scrambling outside the pocket. That Kansas City Chiefs defense has real problems in that secondary, and they have real problems right now picking up the play action. So,
and you know what? At the end of the day, our defensive front makes all the difference in the world. Because you know what? As bad as the Chargers put it on them, Patrick Mahomes still made some hellacious plays.
He did. And again, it's only one game, so I don't want to overreact. I want to, if I'm going to extend that grace to the Eagles, right? I want to extend that grace to any other team. It's one game. We're not at a point where we're able to wholeheartedly define guys, right?
They're gonna make adjustments too.
I'm sure they will. I guess it was just alarming for that, because I'm used to that defense being very, very good.
Yeah.
And it was just alarming to just see the windows that Herbert was throwing through. I mean, it was truly astonishing. And it took them until about the second half to really get that pass rush going a bit. It took them until the second half to really bite down on run defense. If I could take it a step further and just talk about that Chiefs offense, they lost Rashee Rice to suspension. He's going for 6 games.
They lost Rice and they lost Worthy.
They lost Xavier Worthy to a dislocated shoulder. He's out indefinitely. They don't know when he comes back. So your number 1 and number 2 receivers is done. You're down to Juju Smith-Schuster. You're down to
Hollywood Brown.
You're down to Hollywood Brown. You're also, make sure I got this right here,
and Kelsey.
You're also down to Tyquan Thornton.
Yep.
Right. And Mahomes tried to get Tyquan Thornton that ball a couple times in the first half. He just kept overthrowing him.
Yeah.
He kept overthrowing him. Tyquan Thornton was beating his man on those corner routes. Mahomes just kept overthrowing him.
And Mahomes, that was his fault on that pass to Travis Kelce on the goal line. Travis Kelce was open.
Yes. Are you talking about when the score was 20? Are you talking about when the score was? I'm trying to think.
You're thinking of the right play. I forget what the score was, but Travis.
Did they settle? Did they settle for the field goal?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was the last time they. Okay, so
They were
yeah,
running the. Travis ran across. If he would have caught the ball, he'd have been on the 3-yard line and most likely would have scored. But Mahomes threw it too far in front of him.
yes,
He barely got a finger on the ball, and it was like that was on you, dude. That wasn't on Kelsey.
yeah,
So,
because it was 27-18 at the time.
yep.
It was 27-18 at the time, and here's another thing, right? To your point, the Chiefs missed an extra point, and they failed on a 2-point conversion earlier in the game.
I forgot about that.
That's a crucial 3 points. And as a reminder, the Chargers beat the Chiefs 27-21. But that's a crucial 3 points lost. Here's why. Because in the fourth, the Chiefs were down 27-18, like I said.
Right.
If they have those 3 points, they're down 27-21. And remember, they were driving. They ultimately settled for 3 points and made it 21-27. But let's just say they already had the 3 points from earlier. The game is 27-21. They're driving. You're in the red zone to take the lead. That situation is entirely different from 27-18. At that point, the Chiefs, the Chargers are playing defense a little differently. Maybe they're a little tighter. Maybe I think that's advantage Chiefs in that situation.
Yeah.
So it's the little details, right? Those 3 points, in my opinion, came back to bite the Chiefs because it completely alters how you game plan. It completely alters how you play. That Chargers defense was playing free all day. They just looked comfortable. The Chargers controlled pace of that game from beginning to end.
And this is one of those situations where when you look at the game, and everybody, because he's the coach, everybody's going to look at Reed like, all right, you got to get your boys together. And it's like, that's not Andy Reid. That ain't Andy Reid's issue. I mean, he's the head coach, but there comes a time when the guys on the field got to take care of business. Everything that went wrong, it wasn't from scheme. It was somebody doing what they wasn't supposed to do. Or at the end of the day, when it's time for you to make the play, you didn't make the play. The guy on the other side of the ball beat you more than you beat him.
Yeah, and
you don't practice that.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that Andy Reid could have, making you run extra sprints or making you do a team period over again isn't going to change that when you on the field. Y'all got veterans on that defense. Chris Jones, Bolton, all them guys, y'all supposed to know better than that. And you're supposed to do better than that. And they did not. No excuse. That shit wasn't on Andy Reid. That wasn't on Spagnuolo. Spagnuolo didn't tell Chris Jones to shoot the gap.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to do what he was supposed to do. And I ain't never seen Chris Jones do that. I heard on the radio one time. Hugh Douglas used to talk about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Douglas used to talk about how Trot would get mad because Hugh would do something he wasn't supposed to do, but Trot would cover for him. And then Trot had to come and tell him, like, dude, you got to stop doing this because you put me in the bind. I'll cover for you, but you got to, you know what I'm saying? So when you in a situation like that, that's why I thought it was so interesting when the DB was looking at him and was like, dude, we practiced this all week.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that? That's not Andy Reid can't coach that out of him. Mm-hmm. You a seasoned vet. You one of the best in the business, and that's what you do. They got bigger issues than people want to realize.
Yeah, and look, as imperfect as their defense played, they gave their offense opportunities. I mean, I think one of the biggest takeaways from that Chiefs offense, it's going to be a struggle for them unless they make a move. It's gonna really be a long season if they can't generate a running game.
Yeah.
Because Mahomes, I saw him taking some hits that he didn't need to take.
Yeah.
And
it adds up.
It adds up, and sure, it's exciting, but You know, he ran over the one guy as he was going out of bounds. It's cool. It's exciting, but I don't like the hits that he was taking. And Mahomes isn't the biggest guy, you know. So I'm looking at the running game with the running backs. Pacheco, 5 carries, 25 yards, average 5 yards a run. But when you really do the science on the numbers, his longest run of the day was 10 yards.
Right.
So that means 1 carry was for 10 yards, 4 carries was for 15 yards. He couldn't run the ball. And then Kareem Hunt, 5 carries, 16 yards, averaged 3 yards an attempt. His longest run of the day was 6 yards. So that means 4 of his runs only amounted to 10 yards.
Right.
And Travis Kelce, outside of that 37-yard touchdown reception, he was a non-factor.
Non-factor.
Now, granted, he's older. So your expectations have to be moderate, but he came back. And if you decide to come back, we expect you to contribute.
Yep.
And again, he put points on the board. I can't take that away from him. But he didn't take over the game like we're used to seeing. He wasn't getting the Chargers did a really great job exiting, completely exiting him out of the game plan.
Wait till about week 5 or 6. Travis Kelce is at that age where he like that lawnmower. It takes
got to ramp up a little bit.
Pulls. It takes about 6 or 7 pulls to get that baby started. So
yeah, and again, it's only 1 week. It's 1 week. So much can change, you guys. Let's make that very clear. But when you lose Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, that's a tough task to put on Hollywood Brown, who, in my opinion, never really became what we thought he was going to become. He's battled injuries in his career as well. Lord knows if he makes the season.
Right.
You got Tyquan Thornton, a guy. He's a goal ball guy, a deep threat. But once again, this offense is Mahomes and Travis Kelce and everybody else. And another problem that came up in that game, I think they'll get this ironed out, but it hurts you when your two starting tackles, left tackle and right tackle. It hurts you when they have 6 penalties in between them.
Oh, right? What was the guy that got 2 offsides in a row?
Listen,
they was giving him the business in the. I think Travis Kelce was giving him the business in the huddle.
So listen, the rookie left tackle Josh Simmons had 2 false starts.
Yeah,
the veteran right tackle Jawan Taylor, who just got paid, 2 false starts and 2 holding penalties.
Yep.
So that's a total of 40 yards lost in a close game. Especially when you factor in those first 3 drives by the Chiefs, all ended in punts. They were behind the 8 ball early. Those first 3 drives, punt. We're not used to seeing that.
Nah. The mystique is over, man.
They didn't generate their first points into the second quarter, like 5 minutes in the second quarter.
We done pulled back the curtain, man. We done shown the wizard. Ain't nobody scared no more.
And I just don't think what Mahomes is doing. Again, he's a great quarterback.
Mahomes is at that spot right now where you know he's gonna do something incredible. But now teams can overcome that.
Yeah, I just don't think it's sustainable when you got guys that are getting hurt like that.
No. I don't. And to your point, if he's going on the ground like he did, yeah, you got trouble.
Yeah, for sure. So before we close the show, you know, we got some games coming up. I know you got to get out of here in a handful of in about 10 minutes. So let's just look over the schedule real quick. Let's look over the week 1 slate today, tonight and tomorrow. So this is where our predictions come in, you guys. We're gonna start with Buccaneers and Falcons and work our way down here. I'm on ESPN looking at their slate. So we're going to give you guys our predictions for these games. Marcus, if you want, you can give a score if you want. I do got some scores for some of these games, but we're going to go through all these games as quickly as possible and try to give our predictions here. And throughout the season, we're going to compile our record when it comes to these teams and the wins and losses. And each week we're going to revisit, okay, what'd you get right, what'd you get wrong? And by the end of the season, we're going to have we're going to find out who had the most correct predictions versus wrong. So I'll give wins or losses. I don't care about the scores. That's cool. That's cool.
Plus, there's too many teams that I haven't paid attention to.
No, I get it. I get it. So all right, let's go. Okay, so Bucks at Falcons. Bucks on the
Bucks,
road in Atlanta. Who you
Bucks
got
and
winning that game?
Falcons. I got Atlanta winning that game.
Really?
Yes,
I got Bucks winning that game.
I got Atlanta winning that game.
Okay. Interesting. Is it because they're the home team?
Yes.
Okay.
And
That's
I think
funny.
this is Michael Penix and Bijan or Bajan. He said it. His name is pronounced Bajan. Yeah, I think Atlanta is trying to make their presence felt. So I think they're gonna win this.
I guess I ain't gonna. This week is the week of the Road Wars for me. In terms of today. So you got Falcons, I got Bucks. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to Bengals at Browns. Bengals at Browns. I got the Bengals in this game.
I gotta go with hometown, bro. Gotta go with my hometown.
Okay,
my Bengals gonna win that. And this is the game that I am watching because I want to see what Joe Flacco is gonna do. And now don't get it twisted. Cleveland can very well win this game because Cincinnati still don't have a defense. They got Trey Hendrickson back, but yeah, he ain't happy. So
yeah,
I see Cincinnati winning this game, but I really want to see how Cleveland plays, and I really want to see how Joe Flacco. How soon are we going to get Dylan Gabriel? That's what I want to see.
I feel you on that. So real quick, y'all. Marcus has the Falcons beating the Bucks. I have the Bucks beating the Falcons 24-21. Marcus has the Bengals beating the Browns. I as well have the Bengals beating the Browns. I have the Bengals beating the Browns 31-23. Now we got Dolphins at Colts. I have the Colts winning this game 23-20.
I want to pull for Miami, but them damn Dolphins about to get beat by Danny Dimes.
I like the Colts defense. And I think, I don't know, I just got this feeling that the Dolphins aren't going to be able to stop Taylor. So I'm going Colts over Dolphins in that game, 23-20.
I got the Colts as well.
All right. Raiders at Patriots. I got Pats winning this game 20-17.
Agreed. I'm gonna go to Patriots on this one.
Okay. Remember, Pats spent a lot of money on that defensive line. Raiders, they do got Geno Smith, they do got Ashton Genty, but I think Genty runs into a wall today.
Bill Williams, you up?
Yep. And Harold Landry as well. All right. Next up, we got Cardinals at Saints. Saints. I got the Cardinals winning 30-20.
Isn't Kyler Murray hurt?
Kyler Murray's hurt?
Is Kyler Murray hurt, injured, not 100%, something like that?
I didn't hear that. Let me see.
I thought I caught a whiff for that.
Oh, he was added to the injury report, but he's still active for the game.
Due to an illness, but
illness. Okay, all right.
He will start. Okay. Yeah, I'll go Cardinals.
Yeah, I got Cardinals in that game. So I got Cardinals beating the Saints 30-20. All right, Steelers at Jets. This is probably the most interesting matchup of the week. You know, Aaron Rodgers makes his return to New York.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers win this game on the road. Steelers win 23-17. I think it's an ugly game, but Steelers win 23-17.
I think the Steelers win. But if Justin Fields runs, Pittsburgh got a problem. But I think Pittsburgh's gonna win. I think Pittsburgh's gonna win this game.
Remember, the Steelers are used to going up against Lamar Jackson. They're used to going up like they may have something for that, but we'll see.
Good point.
So yeah, I got Steelers beating Jets 23-17. Giants at Commanders. This is my upset of the week. I have the Giants beating the Commanders on the road. Giants win.
Did you miss
Giants win?
Are you going off the NFL list?
I'm looking at the ESPN.
Oh, gotcha. I was about to say you forgot Carolina and Jacksonville, but we haven't got to that yet.
Yeah, I got them next. But yeah, I got Giants beating the Commanders 24-20. This is my upset of the week. 24-20 Giants. I think that defense really steps up against Jaden Davis and those guys. So
I got Washington. Washington is not going to get. Ooh, I was about to say Washington is not going to get beat by a rookie, but Russell Wilson is starting.
Exactly.
I'm gonna pull Washington. I got Washington winning this game. They're at Washington.
Okay.
Cliff Kingsbury is gonna be ready.
Okay. All right, Panthers at Jags. We're almost finished, you guys. Panthers at Jags. I got the Panthers winning this game, 20-17.
Agreed. I think the Panthers are going to take this game.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's still in a world of hurt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they do got Travis Hunter, but I just don't trust the Jags anymore. I got Panthers at Jags, 20-17, winning the game.
Yeah.
Titans at Broncos. I think the Broncos win this game, 33-23.
Broncos, even though I hate Sean Payton, but Broncos win.
Broncos win 33-23. That's my prediction. 49ers at Seahawks. This is one I struggle with. But I got the Seahawks winning this game. I don't think the 49ers have enough at receiver. And I think Christian McCaffrey is going to be
85%.
I think even less than that. But I got the Seahawks winning this game.
Yep.
I don't have a score for this one, but I got the Seahawks winning this game. Okay. Lions at Packers.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one.
This is an interesting game. But I got the Packers winning this game at home.
I got the Lions winning this game. I got the Lions winning this game because Dan Campbell ain't no joke.
Well,
and they know what it is.
They got a new OC, new DC. We will see.
Yeah. I got Detroit. This is my upset of the week because all the hype's going. Everybody want to see what Micah Parsons is going to do. So, and I think Micah Parsons is going to have a sack, but I think Detroit wins this game.
That'd be interesting. All right. Texans at Rams. I got the Texans winning this game on the road 24-23.
I think the Rams win at home.
Here's why. That Texans defense, Matthew Stafford hasn't had any snaps at training camp. He has a bad back. Will Anderson pops him one good time. I think this game goes off the rails. So I got Texans.
I agree.
And
I'm gonna switch that to Houston.
Yeah, and Stafford can't move. That Texans defense is legitimate.
Yeah.
Stingley
Right.
got paid. Petrie got paid. Like
I forgot his back problems.
CJ, GJ.
Yeah. I'm changing that to Houston.
Don't they got Al-Shaair on that team as well?
Yeah.
So I like the Texans defense against this Rams offense. Texans win this game 24-23. It's going to be close. Ravens at Bills. This is the tough one for me, but I got the Ravens winning this game. I don't have a score, but I got Ravens winning on the road. I think that Ravens defense is stacked.
Baltimore with good weather and a good turf. Yeah, I think Lamar Jackson does Lamar Jackson things.
Yeah. So I got Ravens at Bills. Ravens winning this game on the road. All right. Yeah. Vikings on the road in Chicago. This is an interesting game as well. Monday Night Football. I got Bears winning this game. I got Bears winning this game at home. Caleb Williams has a strong debut, has a strong week 1 debut. Ben Johnson gets his first win at home.
This is Caleb Williams coming out party?
I would say so.
All right.
And if not, I mean, I still think they win regardless, though. I think they win. I'm not a JJ McCarthy believer until he shows me otherwise.
Agreed. I'm going Chicago as well.
Yep. And remember, Jordan Addison is suspended for PEDs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So the Justin Jefferson show. Last game. Oh no, that was it. That was last game. That was it. All right, you guys. All right. That's our show, you guys. So we're gonna revisit these predictions, of course, on our Tuesday show. As you guys already know, we're giving you guys 2 shows a week this season and going forward. That's the plan. You're going to get your Sunday show as you got today, and you're going to get your Tuesday reaction show to the previous week's festivities. Can't wait to get into that with you guys. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports. Let's get through these super chats real quick and we're done, Marcus.
For sure. Hold on for a second. Where'd it go? Bird game. Remember for 7 months. Jackson is hot garbage. I'm not gonna say hot garbage yet, but it's definitely looking like the trash area. So
yeah,
I don't disagree.
It's looking like that trash can you keep next to your nightstand.
Facts.
It's looking like that.
Facts. NFL decision expected tomorrow on Jalen Carter per Adam Schefter. Yes. I thought that they would come with a conclusion today because you don't want the new week beginning with what's going to happen to somebody that spit on another player. So I thought that they would have some type of resolution today. I'm thinking something will come down today rather than tomorrow. They don't want the lead story tomorrow to be this. They want it to be the games.
Yeah, for sure. All right. As Blunt says, 53 roster spot open. Which position are you thinking? They definitely did make space because they moved on from Kenyon Green. So we'll see. We'll see. I know they elevated. I know they let go APR, signed Javon Baker, wide receiver, to the practice squad.
Yeah,
that's about it. Ben Bisumer is obviously on IR with injury. So maybe they go corner. Who knows?
I hope so. They better. Check
Alex
Mayrov tweet about Micah. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. Let me see here.
What's the name?
Ari Myrov. Let's see here. He says Eagles tried to trade for Micah. Well, I mean, I already knew that.
Oh,
I knew about that. Yeah, I knew about that.
You knew that Howie was going to pick up the phone. But there wasn't nobody. No. I didn't see any situation where Howie would make that move because that would have been too expensive, knowing that we would put him in the same situation knowing we got to pay Jalen Carter. That wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure, man. I definitely think that was happening.
Trey Brown says
Brown
Jordan Davis had his best game as a pro. Agreed.
Yeah, you got to put it up there, especially given the circumstances. He definitely did a job. Had a pass breakup, had a quarterback hit, had a TFL. He was an anchor, man. He did a pretty good job keeping that running game at bay, minus that 49-yard run, which wasn't his fault. That was Adoree Jackson's fault at minimum. But that's the show, you guys. Again, we appreciate y'all. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We really do appreciate the support. You guys have been fantastic. Again, you guys are getting 2 shows a week. You're getting your Sunday pregame shows where we preview the games of that week, and we give our predictions. We're also giving you guys a Tuesday show where we recap those predictions and recap all the festivities from the previous week. So we appreciate y'all. And that's pretty much it, man. Again, like I always say, man, y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the
Tuesday
energy.
at 7:30.
You know what I mean? Tuesday, yes. Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, you guys. So make sure you guys lock in for that 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Like I always say, man, y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy. Y'all know where our baldies be. You feel what I'm saying? He's Marcus Thomas from Pro Fan Talk. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. This is the Bald Eagles Podcast. Marcus, play that song, man.
Eagles 1-0. Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagles swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite, from the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Fly guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle